From May 16th to May 24th, 2020, Catholics worldwide will celebrate Laudato Si Week to commemorate the 5th anniversary of the encyclical calling us to care for our common home. The document acknowledges the problems that have been created by human actions and the need for an urgent response. It is addressed to all people of goodwill, and yet calls on Christians in particular to recognize the call of our faith to preserve God's gifts.
When he talks about the destruction of species and the loss of species and whatever, that they reflect the beauty and goodness of God, and they aren't just there to serve our needs, but also to help us to see how God is present in other creatures.
Pope Francis calls for an ecological conversion, adjusting the way we look at our relationship with God and the world that He created.
The Pope says this conversion, namely ecological conversion, calls for a number of attitudes which together foster a spirit of generous care, full of tenderness. First, it entails gratitude and gratuitousness, a recognition that the world is God's loving gift and that we are called quietly to imitate His generosity in self-sacrifice and good works. It also entails a loving awareness that we're not disconnected from the rest of the creatures, but joined in a splendid universal communion. And in some ways, what he's asking us is to be more contemplative and more grateful, and after all, he's a Jesuit, and as in Ignatius' sense, to find God in all things. If you read carefully, you see the word ecology, but almost as frequent as that word in this is beauty. So he asks us to find a way to enter into the world of God's creation and to let it touch us and move us. And besides talking about global warming and climate change, the Pope also reminds us of a technocratic paradigm that everyone follows about the goods of the world, namely extract, use, dispose. And of course that's what's causing the environmental ecological issue.
The encyclical also emphasizes the interconnectedness of concern for the earth and concern for those with whom we share the earth, particularly the most vulnerable.
The environmental issue is many things, but it's also a justice issue, because again, the poor will suffer more.
The 5th anniversary of Laudato Si offers a renewed call for actions big and small, and invites us to reflect on how we can make a difference.